Hello and welcome to day 3 of our Voyagers selections this week. Today we're going to work on Shackleton's real-life voyage. This is a really interesting story that is in addition to the Trapped by the Ice that we've already read yesterday and the day before. So today we're going to read more about Shackleton's voyage to Antarctica. We're going to answer comprehension questions to check for understanding. Our learning target is I can ask and answer questions. And you'll notice there's a photograph up here, and this is an actual photograph of Shackleton and his men during part of their voyage and their struggles to make it out of Antarctica alive. So for Shackleton's real-life voyage, we're going to read pages 248 through 251. I will read them aloud, and if you would like to follow along, that would be wonderful. I would really like you to use your reading anthology and follow along because you will notice the pictures. You'll look carefully at the pictures, and we will read the captions. It's really important that these captions are there because they explain what's happening in the pictures. And while we're reading and looking at the pictures and reading the captions, I want you to think, how do these pictures make me feel? All right, so I'm on now page 248 of my reading anthology. And if you need to get there, then just pause the video and take your time to get to the page. Here we go. Shackleton's real-life voyage. The story of Shackleton's Antarctic journey is so amazing. It's hard to believe it really happened, but it did, and everyone survived. One crew member, Frank Hurley, even took photos during the voyage. And if you notice to the right, there's a picture of Frank Hurley right there. Hurley didn't know if he would return home. He wasn't sure if anyone would ever see his photos. However, he never gave up hope. He worked hard to protect the photos from ice, snow, water, wind, and freezing cold. Today, his photos still help people understand what this incredible adventure was like. So there's Hurley. At the bottom of the page, the caption says, Hurley photographed the entire crew soon after the ship was caught in the ice. So Hurley is photographically documenting what it was like to be on their voyage. On page 249, there's a photograph of the Endurance slowly being crushed by the powerful ice. Page 250. The caption says, the crew tried to chop a path out of the ice, but the ice was too solid and thick, and there was too much of it. Just think about how they were feeling at that point. They must have really been panicking and worried. The second picture says, as the ice destroyed their ship, the crew had to camp in the freezing cold. And remember, this was in the 1900s, so they didn't have modern technology or modern clothing that we have now to really keep out the cold. So, and I bet a lot of their clothing wasn't waterproof either, so we can imagine how uncomfortable that could be. The crew pulled lifeboats and supplies across the icy terrain. It was grueling work. Grueling means tiring and difficult. Can you think of something that's grueling around your house? I can. I'm going to be honest, cleaning the bathroom is grueling work for me, but it is nothing in comparison to hauling 2,000 pounds across the Antarctic. I will recognize that. Page 251. The smashed wreck sank slowly into the ice. One sad day, it disappeared forever. Rescued! Shackleton used a rowboat to carry the 22 men from Elephant Island to the Yelcho, the ship in the background. Finally, after nearly 2 years on the ice, the crew traveled home. That must have been a very joyous occasion, I can imagine. So I want you to stop this video right now and just take a couple minutes and just think in your head, how do the pictures make you feel? Okay, I'm back. I know when I looked at the pictures, they made me feel many things. Very concerned for their safety, But in the back of my mind, I realized that they do make it out and everyone survived, which is pretty remarkable. But it makes me really understand what they were going through and enduring in such a terrible environment, being very cold. And I know I don't really like to be cold, and right now my hands are a little cold and I feel uncomfortable, and that is really nothing in comparison at all to what they were going through. So I know just my little uncomfort right now is nothing about what they were going through every day, but it does make me appreciate their bravery and their perseverance in their survival. Okay, now it's time for our discussion questions. And we're going to answer these, and we're going to submit them to Schoology. So you can use a paper and write these out, or you could use your iPad to type out the answers to these questions. Again, you don't need to retype the questions. You can just write 1, 2, 3 if you'd like. That'll make things a lot more easy than writing out the entire question. Okay, so number 1, why are Frank Hurley's photographs more valuable to us than the drawing of an artist who was not present on the voyage? And when we think of the drawing, we think of our author and illustrator. Let me just quick reference our author and illustrator. Finding the page for us here. It's taken a little bit. Michael McCurdy. So why are Frank Hurley's photographs more valuable to us than the drawing that Michael McCurdy made? Okay, number 2. How do the photographs and captions, how do the photographs and captions on page 249 work together to give information? And how does the photograph of the crew pulling the lifeboat sum up the men's situation? Sum up, sum is a mathematical term actually. We use sum for the answer of an addition problem, but that works here too. So how does the photograph of the crew pulling the lifeboat sum up the men's situation? It means, how does that photograph, with all of our information added together, how does that photograph show and demonstrate the men's situation? Okay, so you're going to, again, write these out on paper or use your iPad. Think about this. Please reference your book on pages 248 to 251 if you would like to check some of the photographs and captions again, and then submit these to Schoology. Thank you.